Week 3 of the NHL season is in the books, and it was emotional. The waterworks were being busted out in a return to Boston. Coaches are willing to sacrifice their kids just for a win. The heavyweight title is on the line, all while the league watches in awe of incredible individual performances. It was a crazy week of hockey, so let's cover what really happened in week 3 of the NHL season. Let's fire up the week between the Caps and the Canucks. Holy, is that Elias Pettersson? There you are, Peter. He gets his first after a slow start, and then watch this. Tom Wilson absolutely destroys Philip Hedl. Hockey World was torn on this one. I think the hit itself is clean in terms of contact. Could be considered a tad late, but Wilson's already committed to the check. The worst part of the hit is that it's on Hedl, who's had numerous concussions already, and that is no bueno. This hit was reviewed, and there was no penalty on the play. So the fellas take matters into their own hands. Duhaime and Mancini start chucking bombs at each other. Vancouver led by 4 goals at one point in this game. Caps scored 3 to claw back, and in the 9 seconds, there's PD again. Blocks not 1, but 2 Ovi shots in the 9 seconds. There's the Pettersson revenge tour we've all heard about. Puts his balls on the table and says, "I'm back, boys." Canucks win 4-3. Speaking of back, I think the Red Wings might be good again. Dylan Larkin continues to lead with 2 goals, and he's helped by Emmett Finney. No, that's not a fake created player in NHL 26. That is the 20-year-old rookie potting to himself. Detroit hold McDavid pointless and win their 5th in a row. They're an early season wagon. Let's go to Utah, and there's already a fight. O'Brien and Kastlik shed the mitts for a good heavyweight tilt, but this was a certified Boston special. A Bruins loss by 1 goal where Pastrnak scores both of their goals. Genther gets the game winner off this absolute rip, and the Mammoth are looking good while Boston continues to fall. They've now lost 4 in a row after starting the season 3-0. Finally, we had the Ducks visiting the Bedards, 2 teams with young and fast offenses, but this was all about the goaltending. Dostal was great, stopping 28 of 30, but he was not good enough for this beautiful Bedard. Donato pass in play in OT. That is the winner. Spencer Knight stopped 38 of 39 for Chicago. The Dark Knight persona is working. His stats in the first 5 games are outrageous. Chicago, though, still isn't above 500, so they're still called the Bedards for now. Now for Monday, we got breaking news. The New York Rangers have finally scored a goal at home. Artemi Panarin 57 seconds in, and then the Rangers didn't score again. Can't make this stuff up. 3-1 loss. The Karelian Air Pots' $17 million empty netter. Someone, for the love of God, save Igor Shesterkin. Seattle were one of the teams that hadn't lost in regulation yet, but they get a dose of Broad Street. We get another Gen Z tilt between Konechny and Lindgren. They drop the gloves and not a single punch is thrown. Just a wrestling match through and through. It didn't stop Konechny from laying down the chirps in the box, though. Owen Leave a tippet on the doorstep gets 2 goals in this one for Philly. The Flyers win. A rough night for Seattle all around, as the Mariners also went out in 7 to the Jays. Then we got the Bezos game. Sabres Canadiens on Amazon Prime. Lane Hudson was dancing all night as usual. He gets his first of the season, but the big story was Jakub Dobeš. 30 saves on 32 shots. He has been absolutely unreal to start the season and may even be threatening to steal more starts from Sam Montembeault. The vibes in Montreal are still immaculate, and the Habs remain one of the top teams in the East early on in the season. Can't say the same for Calgary. They are certified ass. Dead last in the league, and it'll stay that way. Jonathan Taves with the tippy long stockings in front. His first as a Jet and first goal in 921 days. Scheifele and Connor handle the cleanup and do what they do best. The Jets look like an early season wagon like they were last year, and hand Calgary another L. We end the night with a juggernaut matchup, potential Stanley Cup final between the Knights, who are yet to lose in regulation, and the Hurricanes, who are the only remaining undefeated team in the league. Mark Stone accidentally went off script getting injured much earlier in this season than usual. He's out week to week with a wrist injury, and early into this game, Vegas is 10-8, and Hill left the game with an injury as well. Someone tell these guys that they can't become the Las Vegas injured reserves because the NHL closed that loophole. But how about this? Pavel Skorofiev in all alone, goes for the one-handed Forsberg tuck and gets it. Freddie bit on that like a fish. Nasty work there from Skorofiev for the early SeatGeek goal of the week. Potential candidate. Vegas had a statement 4-1 win over Carolina, as the Knights and Avs are the only teams remaining without a regulation loss to end Monday. That's the end for Monday's games. We're moving faster, fellas, so take a breather and crack open a chilly one while I tell you about SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the best app for finding deals on tickets by rating them on a scale of 1 to 10 so that you know if you're getting a good deal. If it's red, no bueno, don't touch that. If it's green, that's a gem and you should snatch up those tickets. Guys, you can be scoring an absolute banger of a deal on tickets if you surf the app on game day, add a few friends, use my code on the app to score some last-second ALCS Jays tickets for Game 6. I do it all the time for myself with Leaf games, and you can do it too if you download the app. You can use code HOCKEY2025 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with promo code HOCKEY2025. So make sure you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so that you can use it later. Big thanks to SeatGeek for sponsoring the weekly recaps. Now let's get into the mix for Tuesday's games. We kick things off with the Sharks and Islanders. After Saturday's loss to Pittsburgh, San Jose's head coach Ryan Rosofsky admitted that he would do absolutely anything for a win, even giving up one of his own kids. My man just booked a one-way ticket to sleep it on the couch for the next week. Speaking of kids, couple 18-year-olds shining in this one. Michael Misa gets his first career point, and Schaefer is showing that he's the real deal. He gets the game-winning goal and an assist in this one. He is now tied for first for the longest point streak for a defenseman to begin his career. He's got 7 points in 6 games. The Sharks still remain winless, and someone better keep an eye on Warsofsky's kids. Now, it's a good thing Toronto has the Blue Jays because the Leafs absolutely stink. Even though their goalie called out the team's effort in the media last game, you would think that and all the hype surrounding the city that the Leafs would actually come out with a good effort. Of course, if you believe that, you haven't actually watched the Leafs. That being said, Jack Hughes was a monster in this game. Hat-trick night for him, 5 goals in his last 2 games, and the Devils are also among the early season wagons as they now win 5 in a row. To add on to the embarrassment, there was a last-minute tilt and Hallinan with an overhand right to knock out Benoit. The Leafs just got their shit kicked in every way possible in this game. Let's also give a couple snaps here to Washington and the Belarusian Bear, Alexei Protas. When he ain't scoring, he's an apple tree. 2 assists for him as the Caps smack around the Kraken. There was a couple of beatdowns tonight, and one of them being the Penguins on Vancouver. What the hell is going on? If you asked me at the start of the year, which is the one team that was going to be bona fide brutal to watch, it was the Penguins. But no, Sid is still a monster, and it's a 5-1 domination from Pittsburgh, who are now 5-2 on the season. If that doesn't make sense, then neither does Matt Rempe having more goals than McDavid up until this point of the season. Only 7 assists in 6 games for McJesus, but off the schneid he goes. Top cheese, throw the monkey off the back. This one needed OT, where Jake Waldman's first game, Jose and Will Smith, he puts it upstairs where you hide the brownies. That's the game. 5 points for Celebrini, 4 points for Smith. Sharks finally get their first win of the season, and we should all immediately go and check if Ryan Rosofsky's kids are okay. Let's go to Tampa, where they have been surprisingly garbage to start the season. This one is 2-2 in the final minute. Chicago gets a fast break. Rebound comes out to Ryan Donato. He buries the dagger. Last minute FU to the Bolts. Spencer the Dark Knight again was incredible for Chicago. He's been the key to getting Chicago back to 500, which is amazing. I know I said they had to be over that to get their name back, but I'm in a good mood. So the Blackhawks are officially back for the time being. And shit, maybe the Penguins are too. These guys are playing unreal. And of course, Sid the middle-aged man is leading the way. Sid heard all the rumors and tank expectations in the summer and said, "Do you know who I am?" The man is the greatest player of this generation. He's got 2 goals on the power play, adds an assist. Tristan Jarry actually all of a sudden looks like he doesn't belong in Shanghai. He stopped 34 shots as the Penguins beat the defending Cup champs to go 6-2 on the season. On the island, they got Detroit, and I swear, if Detroit blows this again, I'm going to lose it. 5 wins in a row. They lose to Buffalo yesterday, and then they allow a touchdown to the Islanders. This is what the Red Wings do, though. They win 5 in a row, then they find a way to lose 5 in a row. It's what has sunk the Yzer plan over the last few years. They better lock it up before that happens again. And on the other hand, the Islanders are cooking. They called 1-800-BIG-SAVE-DAVE to shut the door, and they win their 4th in a row. The goals kept on coming, though, baby. We got another barn burner here between the Ducks and the Bruins. The Ducks are up 5-3 with 5.5 to go, and the Bruins score twice in 25 seconds to tie the game. Nice. Too bad, Boston. royally sucks. Fast forward 30 seconds later, Troy Terry takes the lead back for Anaheim. That's the game. Michael Granlund had 5 points in this one, and the Bruins have now lost 6 in a row. And afterwards, Charlie McAvoy did not hold back about how devastating these losses have been lately. Can't blame him, though. It's been a tough week for the Bees and their fans, but they were good forever, and they had Tom Brady, so no one is shedding a tear. If you do hate goals for some reason, you could have tuned into the Flyers and Sens. 2-1 Ottawa win. Real riveting stuff, but what should get Sens fans all horned up was that Allmark looked great. He's had a tough start, and if they want to survive this stint without Tkachuk, they need him to be a dog. Speaking of a dog, Logan Cooley comes out of the gate like Wayne Gretzky. He scores a hattie and adds an assist in the first 10 minutes of the game, but check out his second goal. Disgusting first touch between the legs and then goes backhand Billy for the goal. SeatGeek Goal of the Week candidate? Absolutely. The Mammoth aren't playing around. 7-4 win. They are 5-0 since introducing their mascot. Is it correlated? I have no clue. This team didn't even have a name 6 months ago. If you want to catch up on some sleep, throw in a Preds game. Yes, I know, it's the harsh truth, but this was actually a goaltending duel between UC Saros and Thatcher Demko. Of course, I have Demko in fantasy, so that means the Preds were a lock to win. Should have known that. Goaltenders stealing the show continued between the Kraken and Jets, and no, it wasn't Hellebuck this time. Joey Daccord had a brick wall performance. 32 save shutout and an assist. Love seeing the Tendy get on the score sheet. I like Seattle's game early this season, and also I like watching Marchment catching Stanley slip, and that is 2 for flinching right there. Tough look, pal. It has been an all-around tough look for the Kings so far this season, but guess who's back? The Worm. Corey Perry, and right away, the 342-year-old vet gets on the board. With Perry returning, this of course means the Kings will lose in the Stanley Cup final. They didn't lose in this one, though, as Adrian Kempe, OT winner, and then starts aura farming with the celly. He hits Dallas with the horns down celebration. Kings are climbing out of their hole while the Stars keep slipping deeper. That's now 4 losses in a row for them. Then we had the throwback game between the Avs and Hurricanes. Sickest uniform matchup ever right here with the Whalers and Nordiques. The 90s had 6 jerseys. Bring back Blockbuster while we're at it. Early, it was all the Whalers. 4 goals in the first. It looks like playing every game may have caught up with Wedgwood. Of course, it's either that or it's because I also have Wedgwood in fantasy. Should have known that too. Buckle up, though, because this night doesn't believe in defense. Nordiques come all the way back to tie at 4-4. We go to a shootout, and it's the Seth Lord. Seth Jarvis gets the game winner as the Whalers take the Blockbuster Bowl in a shootout. Finally, we finish up in Canada. Oilers, Habs, Montreal games are like a shot of adrenaline, and this one is no different. Oilers are up 3-1 with 3 to go in the second, and the Canadiens score 3 times with Caulfield getting 2 of them. This guy just manufactures goals. Canadiens will then be up 5-3 with under 9 to go in the game, but the Habs make the number 1 mistake against the Oilers, and that's giving them power plays. First, it's Draisaitl, then it's the Nuge, and with about a minute left, Podkolzin buries the dagger. Afterwards, Caulfield basically said the third period was a ref show. Stripes took over, and that was it. That's one way to get on the phone with Gary and get a nice fine, but it closes out a wild night in hockey. A little bit different on Friday, though. 4 games on, and the Devils are the team that keep on rolling. Does it matter that it was against the Sharks? No. Dougie Hamilton, 2 tucks, keep the change, and they win their 7th in a row and are on top of the league. The Caps, they're right there, though, and there's Ovi off the draw rip. That is goal number 899 in his career. Break out the 6-pack of chili ones. Caps take care of business with a 5-1 win over Columbus. The Caps have now won 6 of their last 7. Everyone was sleeping on the Metro, but Carolina, New Jersey, and Washington is looking like a gauntlet early on here. Now, if it wasn't for the Blue Jays, the sky would be on fire in Toronto. The Leafs walk into Buffalo, and the Sabres would drop 5 goals on them. Matthias Samuelsson, 2-goal night. Alex Lyon was unreal in between the pipes, and Alex Tuck gets a shorty that reminds Anthony Stolarz to close his damn legs to seal the win. The Leafs are always mid to start the year, but this year it certainly feels different and looks different. This team looks like they are flat out having an identity crisis, and no one has an answer or a solution. The parade isn't canceled, it's just for the Blue Jays. Then we finish off the day with a Canadian matchup between the Flames and the Jets, and the big boys want to go here. 6'8" Adam Klapta versus 6'7" Logan Stanley. Holy fellas, what's the weather like up there? Couple lefts, couple rights, sit in the box for 5 minutes and keep for going. Jets score 4 in the second, and with Jonathan Toews getting on the board in his hometown. They beat the Flames without Hellebuck even playing in Calgary. May honestly be in an all-time ass category here. Firmly in the basement. That is their 8th loss in a row to end Friday. Now it's time for hockey's holy day. We're ready to rock here, so let's kick it into high gear. It is a noon square up between the Islanders and Flyers. Everyone's cornflakes got pissed on during this one. Gen Z scrum with a little bit more nastiness than usual, but the dog of this game was Trevor Zegras. Goal and assist, then buries in the shootout to seal it. Flyers take it 4-3. On to the Avs and Bruins, where Boston royally sucks right now, but something's got to give. They score 2 goals in 39 seconds, and they never give the lead back. That right there thoroughly pisses off the dog, Nathan MacKinnon. He decides to drop him with Charlie McAvoy, and when MacKinnon gets mad, it's a bull in a china shop. Avs lose their first of the season in regulation, and the Bruins snap their 6-game losing streak. Speaking of skids, the Lightning have lost 4 in a row coming into this game against the Ducks, but Tampa's had enough here though. Kucherov slings 2 assists in the night. He's got his 1,000th career point. Hedman joins in on the fun. He's celebrating his 800th point on the night. Break out the champagne. Tampa wins on milestone night for them. On to the Leafs, where Jake McCabe is collecting chins for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Lays out Bowen Byram and then lays a bomb right to the jaw of Alex Tuch. Down you go. Leafs look like they finally give a shit. Wow, that's surprising. Sabres actually look good overall since they had a terrible start to the season, but this one needs OT, and when you need him the most, you can count on the man who left the island. John Tavares goes upstairs, says let's get home, and the Leafs get a much needed win. It's almost like a double win for Leaf fans because they get to watch Marner and Vegas lose as well. The Panthers lock the hell in, and Sergei Bobrovsky does what he does best. 50th career shutout. You know the defending cup champs find a way to get up for these games, and they get a big win here. Now, also, it's very possible that the Utah Mammoth are indeed a wagon. They get an actual team name, and all of a sudden, they're the real deal James Neal. Logan Cooley gets another 2 goals. Kid is on fire. The offense is clicking. 6-2 spanking of Minnesota. The Wild are now dead last in their division, by the way, fresh off of giving the Carillion Air a $17 million extension. One team who truly always finds a way to surprise me, though, is the Detroit Red Wings. They were down 4-0 in this one in the second against the Blues, and we're thinking, here we go again. But no, saddle up, partner. The Red Wings score 6 unanswered goals. What a comeback for Detroit, but what a choke by St. Louis at the same time. Holy fellas, hunker down and block a shot, will ya? That right there is going to earn you a bag skate, and you deserve it after blowing a 4-goal lead. Over in Washington, somehow we're still not letting goalies drop the mitts for some reason. Allmark comes all the way down the ice to get in the mix, but the refs put a stop to it for some reason. Let the boys go, Stripes. What is this? Sens end up putting up a touchdown anyways to take care of business. That's a big win for them. Then you look at the Penguins, and they're somehow screwing up what was supposed to be a tankier. Down by 2, they find a way to come back to force extra time, only to lose it in a shootout. It'll be fun to see how much that extra point actually matters at the end of the year. Meanwhile, the Habs keep on buzzing. Demidov is still dancing. He gets another crazy assist in this one. Jakub Dobush pulled out another win. He's now 5-0. Montreal was expected to take another step this year, but first in the Atlantic to start the year is some tidy work. Out west in the Ranton and Bowl, Dallas finally snapped their 4-game losing streak against the Hurricanes, which is big for them, and that made Nashville happy, because even though the 492-year-old worm Corey Perry potted another one in this game for the Kings, the Preds did take it in a shootout. Edmonton would have liked that a lot, but the lack of offense from the Oilers continues to be a problem. McDavid goose-egged again on the night. Eberle 2 goals for the game winner, and that is all she wrote. So, what do you think of week 3? Who surprised you? Who pissed you off? Let us know in the comments down below. My SeatGeek goal of the week goes to Logan Cooley, between the legs tuck. That was some nasty work from him. Let me know what your SeatGeek goal of the week was, and if you want to see more team and player breakdowns or more recaps every single Sunday, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you don't miss a thing.